Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are going to be exploring the top 5 crop picks that you can plant for the next planting season. These crops have been perfectly tailored to meet your short-term goals, your medium-term goals and your long-term goals. So we are going to be exploring them and seeing the benefit and then the reasons why you should grow any one of these picks depending on what your end goal is at that your field location. Just before we dive in, we need you to real quick punch on that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and do well to like this video. So let us dive in real quick. We are starting with the long-term crops, and our number one pick for the long-term crop is the oil palm. Oil palms have become so vital in our society today, and that is why the demand has skyrocketed. Now, one of the reasons to know what you should go for is the demand for that particular produce in your area, and the demand for oil palm has so skyrocketed. Also, the price for oil palm has also skyrocketed, which you can confirm by comparing the current price of a 25 kg gallon of oil with what it was sold for 3-4 years ago. You can agree or attest to the fact that the price has really skyrocketed and the demand has also skyrocketed, which means that oil palm is a crop that you should consider for the next planting season if you really want to make it big. Oil palm is a long-term crop, meaning that it's not one of those crops that you cultivate and then in few months you begin to harvest. Let's say 3-4 months you begin to harvest. No, when you cultivate your oil palm, you are expected to wait for a minimum of about 3 to 4 years before it begins to fruit, and then you would wait for another 2 years, totaling about 5 to 6 years before the oil palm gets to peak production, which means that it's a long time. It's not like the regular short-term crop, but then the wait is going to pay off at the end of the day. It's a generational crop, which means that after you are done making money out of it, you are also going to pass it on to the next generation. So why are you still pondering on what to pick for the next planting seasons? Go for oil palm, because oil palm absolutely comes with a whole lot of advantages and you shouldn't miss out. If you have the land, you have the capital, and you have the capacity to grow oil palm, then you should be going for oil palm for the next planting season. My number 2 pick is plantain. Plantain is going to be doubling as a medium-term and also a long-term crop. Now, medium-term in the sense that it begins to produce just after 9 months if you are planting or cultivating the right plantain variety. Also, long-term because you are going to have plantain for a very long time. If you manage your field well, you are going to have plantain for over 10 years with proper management. So that is long-term. Why should you go for plantain? Because the demand for plantain keeps going up. There's a whole lot of uses for plantain. Is it in kitchen or is it at the factory? What can you not use plantain for? Dodo, bole. Just a whole lot of things that plantain is used for. So you should think of plantain, because also when it comes to cultivation and management, plantain offers you that ability to not always be physically present at your farm compared to the short-term crops, which would require all of your attention. But plantain gives you that leverage to wanting to do other things, or just come around your farm probably once or twice in a week or even a month if you are doing the right thing. So when it comes to plantain as a second pick, it's not just a good pick because it's a long-term crop. No, it's a good pick because survivability wise and management wise, plantains are very economical. Let's also talk about other things you get from your plantain. So if you already have a well-established plantain field, it then gives you the opportunity to begin to sell suckers aside the fruits. And also there are still people who buy trunks or stems of plantains after you've harvested. There are companies that come to your farm and pick up this. All these are sources of income. Are you getting it? Meaning every single part of the plantain, right from the suckers down to the fruit, are all economical parts, and you are going to make a whole lot of money. And that is why I tell people regularly, if you want to make a pick, then you should be going for plantain as your medium and long-term crop. Our third pick, which would fall under the short-term crop, is ugu. Why am I picking ugu? Ugu is very, very lucrative, especially if you are cultivating ugu during the drought season. During the drought season, if you manage your field well, can harvest your ugu every 10 days. What happens during the drought season is that the price of ugu skyrockets like 2 or 3 times what it is sold for during the rainy season when it's available everywhere. During the peak of the drought season, ugu price skyrockets. It goes up 3 times the initial price or the price it's sold for during the rainy season. What that means is that if you target the drought season and you cultivate your ugu so well by using the right plant spacing so you get the right plant yield from that your field, then you will be making a whole lot of money. Plant spacing we are going to be recommending for your ugu is a 60 centimeter by 30 centimeter plant spacing. Make sure you are using the plant spacing to maximize your land and get the best out of your field. Ugu is in high demand because a lot of Nigerian dishes will require you to use ugu for the preparation, and that is why you should ensure that you are picking ugu. Ugu might be quite capital intensive when you want to set up, but within 9 months, I can guarantee you would have made profit. Again, ugu is perennial, meaning it lasts for over a year if properly managed. You would have in 9 months realized your capital and also realized profit if you do your farming well. And that is why we say regularly on this channel that in all you do, make sure you are doing agriculture right. So use the right plant spacing, make sure you are making irrigation available so that you are cultivating and selling during the drought season, which is the time the demand for ugu reaches its highest point. Okay, make sure you are picking ugu, which is our third pick and the number one crop on the list of our short-term crops. The number 4 crop we are going to be picking, which will be classified under the short-term crop, is habanero. Okay, habanero is such in high demand, especially during the drought season. For all these short-term crops, this should be your strategy. Your strategy for agriculture, especially when you are growing the short-term crops, should be growing this crop when other farmers are packing up, meaning the demand will skyrocket, will go up 2 times, 3 times when you are cultivating, especially during the drought season that other farmers are packing up. Make sure you are using the right plant spacing so that you get the right yield. Make sure you are also managing your field depending on where you want to have it. Is it open field or you want to have them or grow them in greenhouses? That is totally up to you. Anywhere you eventually choose to grow them, make sure you are doing that properly. Like I said, the short-term crops always aim to grow them when other farmers are packing up so that the demand will be so huge and you can easily break into the market. So go for habanero pepper, because also when you are looking at the shelf life of a habanero pepper, it is quite good. Okay, so it doesn't give you that condition of after harvesting you must sell on that day. No, if buyers are trying to be funny, you can still do a bit of shakara in the sense that you would still have a bit of bargaining power over the buyers if they choose not to buy at the right price. So it gives you that luxury to flex your muscle as a seller. We will be diving into the last pick for this video. And number 5 pick will be tomatoes. Okay, you should grow tomatoes, especially during the drought season. Like I said, for short-term crops, if you are a short-term farmer, ensure to try to grow your crops during the drought season, because by so doing you will make the most of that your field. This is it. For how you could start is when you realize that rain is almost coming to an end. Let's say in practical sense now, when we are in September, September, October, we are already at the tail end of the rainy season. Then you begin to grow your nursery for your pepper and your tomatoes because they have similar agronomic processes for its production. So you begin to cultivate your nursery around that time so that you can begin to cultivate while the rain is still there, so that they get established using the rain, and then you sustain the crop with irrigation. You know, like I said, your strategy should be to have them available when other farmers are packing up. By so doing, the demand will be so huge. I've literally emphasized so much on this, and that is why you should ensure, if you want to make the most out of your crop farming business, especially for short-term crops, you should ensure that you are making provision for irrigation. I cannot emphasize this enough. Irrigation is key to, of course, it's capital intensive, no doubt, but then you would make your money. Just ensure that you are doing it right. And by doing it right, you will make a lot of money and you will be happy that you did the right thing. These are our 5 pick for this particular video. If you have any other crop you want to grow at your field location, which is different from all of these picks that we have mentioned in this video, it is pretty simple. All you need to do is ensure you go to your market closest to your field location and carry out visibility study. Even before you go for any of these crops we have recommended on this video, you should also carry out a market visibility study to enable you know if it is the right crop to grow at your area. Why you want to carry out a visibility study is you want to be sure that you are growing what you'll be able to sell, because the whole essence of growing your crop is to make profit at the end of the day, and you want to sell to a market. So if you know that the market for the crop you're growing isn't there, then you should not grow. This is what you should do, and which has to be a rule. Let the market always determine what you produce at your farm and not the other way around. Do not produce, never make this mistake of producing at your farm and then taking it to the market and trying to force it down the throat of the buyers. Rather, find out what the buyers want, find out what is in demand at the market closest to you, so that you are not spending so much on transporting your goods from your field down to the market. Make sure you find out what the market needs, then you take what they need down to your farm and you produce. By so doing, you would make a lot of money. Make sure to do agriculture right. At this point, guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel just yet, then you are wrong. I need you to punch on that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell and do well to give this video a thumbs up. Definitely, there are so many other videos for you to watch and get quality information for your crop production project. So make sure you are clicking on the next video that will be appearing after you stop seeing my face. For now, guys, peace.